The next one I'm going to talk about is humility. Humility is the ability to be self-aware and transparent about your own strengths and weaknesses. Now, I'm going to bring in an extra one in here in vulnerability because they are different. So if humility is a person's natural ability to recognize their own strengths and weaknesses, vulnerability is to the degree of which I am willing to share that with others. So I could have high humility, which says I know what my strengths are and I also know what my weaknesses are. I do have high humility. I know exactly what my strengths and weaknesses are. But in me, I'm also quite vulnerable. I will be absolutely okay with sharing with people what those strengths and weaknesses are. I've got no problem admitting when I get it wrong. I've got no problem admitting when I'm not that good at something and maybe somebody else should take this on. So high humility and high vulnerability in combination is really good because it allows people to know that you're human, know that you're self-aware, and know that you don't believe that you're all things to all people. And that's incredibly authentic and it warms people to you. What happens when you get high humility with low vulnerability, though, i.e., I'm aware of my strengths and weaknesses, but I am not going to show them in public? That can lead to a very guarded, cagey person, and people struggle to get close to them. They also struggle to trust them because all human beings are flawed and all human beings struggle. But if you're never willing to acknowledge that or show it, people see right through it. So low vulnerability can be a real inhibitor, certainly in the workplace for people and certainly for leaders. What about people who have low humility? They don't have a good understanding of their strengths and weaknesses. They're slightly deluded on what they're good at versus what they're not so good at, but they're super vulnerable. They'll just ooze out that's a nightmare, because if you're willing to share time and time again things that are absolutely contrary to what other people are seeing, your credibility will go through the floor because they'll say, seriously, you think you're good at that? I see different. So high vulnerability with low humility can cause a huge problem from a trust and credibility perspective.